How's it going, guys? Dr. Henry here. Hey, today we're going to go through kind of how to get some of the tension out of our hamstrings. I use this for quite a lot of different things. The hamstrings, you can have a lot of tension into it. A lot of people have the sciatica, and that's nerve pain that kind of goes down the course of the sciatic nerve, which is off the hamstrings, back of the leg. And a lot of times their hamstrings aren't actually the problem, but they can build some hamstring tension. And even if you just have regular kind of low back pain, a lot of times you'll get some tension in your hamstrings, and it's just good to be able to kind of work on all different parts of your body, get some of the tension out of there. You can do this a couple different ways. You can use like a ball on a chair. Clearly that's my preferred way because that's what I'm doing. You can also use a foam roller. I personally just have never gotten a lot out of foam rolling like my hamstrings. It's hard to get there. I love it for all kinds of different things. But for hamstrings, the best way that I've found that works for me to kind of work on them is using a ball. So we've got a couple options for you. This guy is like a 5-inch mobility ball. This is a just like kind of standard lacrosse ball-y type size ball. And I like to use a chair to sit on with a little bit of a pad in it. If it's too hard, then it's too hard, right? So there you go. So a nice little pad kind of works good, especially if your ball that you're using is hard, because it kind of sinks into the chair, so there's a little bit of give, so it's a little bit nicer. But what we're gonna do here is we're gonna keep this super, super simple. All we're gonna do is we're gonna take our ball, and I'm just gonna kind of push it, put it around on my hamstring, and I'm gonna kind of sit on it. This is probably going to be a weird video to watch because you can't actually see the ball very well, but the ball is on the mid part of my leg, and from here, I'm just kind of doing what I always call like seek and destroy. I'm kind of just cruising around, finding some tight stuff. The nice part about using a chair is if it's too much pressure, I can kind of lift myself off of it a little bit. If you're doing this because you have low back pain, the only thing that you really want to be super careful of is that you're not overly flexing the low back. So maintain that kind of low back curve, keep your back nice and neutral. And we're just going to kind of cruise around a little bit and find some tight stuff. One way to get a little bit more out of this is if I find a spot that's like really tight, like there's a little bit of tension on me, what I can do is I can kind of pin that down on that lacrosse ball, and I can kind of open up my leg a little bit. And this doesn't have to be like a lot of leg extension to like go from 0 to 100 all in one little session here. We're just getting some nice and easy movement. Side note, if you are having some low back pain, especially low back and leg pain, this can actually increase the tension on your sciatic nerve. Be very, very careful about it. That's why I like just a little bit. And my people that have that going on that I recommend this to, we're not doing any kind of leg extension, knee extension at all. We're keeping that knee nice and bent. We're just keeping a little bit of slack there, and we're being real careful about kind of maintaining that nice neutral low back position. So I'm cruising around on that ball. I'll show you on the big ball here. And this is kind of nice. I personally like the big ball a little bit because I can really kind of get in there, and it's going to sit me up a little bit higher, which is kind of nice because I can actually put a little bit more of my body weight into it. And from here, same thing. We're just kind of cruising around, and I can move my leg around, and I can actually get a little bit of my adductor, which is on the inside, and I can go back and forth through here and just work on kind of mobilizing that tissue. One big thing that I'm doing is I'm not putting all of my weight on this. I'm not like just cramming and squishing this guy. I'm being nice and easy. And especially if you have pain going on, you really don't want to put too much pressure into it. You can actually kind of heighten your alarm system a little bit and make things tighten down even more if you're not very careful. So what works for a lot of people that I work with is that if we have a day where there's a lot of tension in there, I'm having them actually still do just that kind of like small to medium amount of intensity, and we're just doing it a little bit more frequently throughout the day. If you're having a lot of hamstring issues and you really get in there and you really cram that ball into it, it can get really sore, it can be kind of painful, and then you kind of can't come back to it at all for the rest of the day. Anyways, guys, this is how to release your tight hamstrings, how to work on it, get some of the tension out of the system a little bit. I hope this helps you out, and if you have any specific questions, be sure to let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next time.